This spawn is rarely open and even less likely to be haunted, but when it is, it's great profit, the East Tower of the Hive Fortress. First of all, let me explain how the Hive works. The Hive is a dynamic spawn that has 3 different stages. Most of the time it will be at the stage 1, where only the surface is available, and it's also decent enough for profiting. I already made a video for that. However, there are tasks that can be done on the surface, and each of them equals 1 point. A total of 200 points must be completed between server saves in order to advance the stages of the Hive. Because of this concept, it's hard for stage 2 and 3 to be active, since if only one person were to do the missions, it will take around 5 hours to get the 200 points. So what normally happens is a group of people decide to do it together, and then it becomes faster and easier. But even that doesn't happen often. But anyways, you can check at what stage the Hive is by talking to the guy NPCs near the vaults and asking about the Hive. If you do this every day, then you can tell when it is available or when somebody else is trying to get it to advance, and then you could help out as well. And once it is on stage 2, then the fortress is open, but only to the East Tower, which is much easier but worse than the West Tower. For context, the West Tower is recommended for 300s or higher, but the East side can be haunted by 100 since it's not that different from the surface. The monsters mostly change from swarmers and insectoid workers to more spitters and waspoids. Both of them have a chance of dropping grasshopper legs, which is a rare item but valuable on most servers. However, the main source of profit comes from the garlet head plats. These are used for the energy protection imbuement, and any regular server will have a good demand for those. In a 20-minute hunt, I got 16 of those, while already being on a positive balance from the common drops. The raw experience was of around the 700k on a level 127 with low skills, which leaves plenty of room to improve. On my video about the surface, I did a comparison between the new server character and a higher skills one in a regular server, and the improvement on that was of almost a third. So if I were to apply it to this spawn as well, it could be around the 900k of raw experience and even more profit. Keep in mind that is only hunting the first 3 floors. Going higher will get harder and not as beneficial, since there will be more speedries and colos. It will be on a much less density than the West Tower, but they are still hard to hunt at this level. But even at higher levels, it doesn't get much better because the creature density is not as good, so this tower remains best for under level 200s. And that is if your focus is making profit. The experience won't be getting much better. The good thing about the stage 2 is that it's far more common than stage 3, since it lasts for longer. Once a server gets to stage 3, it only lasts for 5 days, and then it will go back to stage 2 or 1 depending on the points for that day. But most of the times it will go to stage 2, which lasts for more than a week. This spawn is also very good for bestiary, since you are making progress for 4 different ones, and since most people that are working on advancing the stage of the Hive do it for the stage 3 to unlock the West Tower and also to get more Gudii masses. That is something I will cover in more detail on a video of how to do the Hive missions, but the short version is that besides the 1 point towards advancing the stage, you also get 1 contribution point. 50 of those can be exchanged to get access past the Gudii walls in both towers, and behind each wall you can get 1 Gudii mass every 7 days. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out that video in the future. But with that said, that's all I got for this one. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Tuna Hero, Thor the Slasher, and Drunken Watson for their support of the channel.